Hi everyone. Today we're going to be doing something special, me and Tete. We're going to be in The Sims. So if you're listening on Anchor, please head to the YouTube link in the description and watch this video. So basically we're recording a session of The Sims, but we're going to be role playing in live, basically role playing as Joel, that's me, and Tete is going to be role playing as none other than Bruce Wayne, who is Batman.
Yes, I will be playing the Dark Knight himself.
Yes, and this is quite random because, she's not role playing one of her characters, but, she is a DC fan, and we actually have talked about what would happen if Joel met Batman. So this is kind of like, a Sims version of that. And, now we have the visuals of seeing Joel talk to Batman, and this is going to be the first time they interact.
Yes, yes, it will be, and this will be quite interesting to see how this works. Because it seems that on the surface, when Bruce is normal and functional, I'm sorry, Batman fanboys, he can be fairly decent, and he and Joel seem to get along. Hopefully, they will get along in this session.
Yes. Okay, so here we go.
Okay, is by the way, is Bruce going to be wearing the Batman outfit, or is he going to be normal?
I let's see what happens.
Okay.
Okay, so where's Bruce?
Oh, where
And
is Bruce? What is this?
Joel's trying to throw some garbage away right now. Knock on door. So he has to knock on door first. So, Joel is
Okay.
here to interview. Basically, he wants to have a new job. He doesn't want to work for that tiny grocery store anymore. So now he has applied for a job at Bruce Wayne's company. And now Bruce has just told him to come in. He is greeted by the sight of Bruce's very empty looking apartment.
Quite unusually striking for a billionaire of Bruce Wayne's pedigree, if you will.
It is. And he's just staring at the empty desk, the ugly little jukebox, the beat up looking couch, and he's like, where is this billionaire? Is he really who he says he is?
I think Bruce is using this house as a stakeout. The Joker's been on the loose.
So he's just staring and he's trying to figure out where Bruce is.
And where is Bruce, of all things? And Bruce has no taste. This house is so tacky.
And he's like, I can't see him. Is he in the pool? And then he just goes down and looks for him at the pool. It
Bruce is
turns out he
brooding.
is at the pool.
Bruce is very athletic. He constantly and diligently trains himself in various athletics and martial arts, including swimming. Bruce is obsessed with athletics.
He is. And now Joel's coming down. I did not know that Joel wears bright yellow shoes. That is disturbing, but okay.
But that's probably the only pair he had that were polished.
Right. And then he says, "Hi, Mr. Wayne. I am here for the interview."
And he's like, come again? He says, who are you again?
"I'm Mr. Farber, the guy who applied to your job, the job that you have, the opening for and then Joel stutters because he's kind of nervous. The bookkeeping position."
Oh, he's like, now I remember. I'm sorry I forgot about that appointment. I've had a lot on my mind lately. So you're Mr. Farber, and you're here to apply for the bookkeeping position for the travel expense account then of Wayne Corporation then.
Yes, I am. And now Joel switches into his swimming outfit because they're
He's
at the
like
pool.
at the pool. And then he says, feel free to make yourself at home, Mr. Farber. Would you care joining me for a swim?
Yeah, sure. Joel's feeling a bit tense for some reason.
Of course, because he's dealing with Bruce Wayne. And then and Bruce says, so, well then, what previous or prior experience do you have, Mr. Farber?
He says. Well, I've worked, for a small company, which is just, down the street. It's a grocery store. I've been working there for 2 years.
I see. And any other previous experience prior to your current position?
No, I haven't. Before that, I was just studying, and yeah, that's the only position I've had.
And where did you go to school?
He tells him some, no name community college.
I see. Well, don't have much of a resume to go on, do you, Farber?
Well, I think it's pretty good.
Be good.
Uh-huh.
You think? Do you think it's good enough for Wayne Corporation?
I think so. And then Joel tries to look as confident as possible. Because this is what Sam told him to do during interviews.
And he says, "You do realize the job that you're undertaking, right? I mean, this isn't ledgering some, grocery bills of the week. I mean, you're going to be handling, I'd say, anywhere from a 6 to 8 figure travel expense account, exclusively for my auxiliary account. I need some time to consider it, but maybe as more I talk to you, maybe the more I'll like you and I'll think about it."
I see. He says, well, I'm quite flexible, so even though I haven't done those things, I think I can do that. I'm very good at crunching numbers and paying attention to small details, so it shouldn't matter whether I'm doing groceries or, a budget expense for some travel thing.
That's true. That's true. Well, maybe we'll get on to a more sensitive topic, something a little more prickly. How about ethics, Mr. Farber? Um, what kind of man are you really? Are you the sort of petty man who's sort of been grappled by his meager circumstances, so you're willing to, get into the game with the big players and you're probably willing to sell yourself at the first drop of a hat?
And then Joel is a bit irritated. He says, no, I am not like that. I am a man of principle, of conviction, and I stick by what I believe. I'm not going to, drop my hat just because someone tells me to.
So let's just propose a hypothetical situation, Mr. Farber. Let's say one of my accountants you discover has been skimming off of one of our accounts, like say account in our account in Chicago. They've been dipping for a while and they offer to pay you maybe a high percentage, 35 of whatever they're skimming for your silence. What do you do? Do you accept that? Do you report it or do you fear retaliation within the corporation? It is a bit of a brutal hierarchy, I'll tell you that.
Well, it's wrong. I mean, I'm not letting someone go off with the money.
Even if they're paying you 35%.
No, I mean, it's a matter of principle.
I see. Well, Mr. Farber, I'll tell you one thing. There are men who start off good, but they don't stay good. And I can't tell you how many men I've seen who started off good as shining examples, knights in shining armor and all that, and let's just say their armor got really dented. I like your idealism. I like your optimism. I like your sense of conviction. That's something rare and lacking. But how do I know you're not just giving me lip service?
He's like, well, how are you going to prove to me? Well, actually, he says, no. How am I going to prove realistically that I'm not shitting you?
He laughs. Oh my goodness, he said, I'm surprised. Very unprofessional, but I like you. So, where are you from, Mr. Farber? Are you from, judging from your audacity and everything, I'd like to say that you're either from Brooklyn, Bronx, or the Lower East Side.
Well, you're right. The last one.
Lower East Side, eh?
Yes.
He said, I figured you were. No one else would be that blunt to come in here and start, spouting about his convictions as well as you know, dropping profanity. I like that, though. Kind of refreshing from all these damn sycophants that I've got to deal with. I'll tell you what, Barber.
Uh
I
huh.
like your attitude. I like your initiative. I'll take you on as a trial. About a month. We'll see how you do.
Joel
I will
raises.
warn you.
Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm gonna warn you. You're entering a den of wolves. I'll keep an eye for you, but I can't guarantee you'll always be safe here.
Joel slowly raises an eyebrow and then looks at Bruce, who is getting up from the pool now. He has learned something from Bruce already, according to The Sims. So he learned that Bruce is gloomy.
That's Bruce. Food
Yes.
for y'all.
And
I
now
can
Joel
imagine.
is back to being tense. He was quite happy a few moments ago, but now he's back to being tense for some reason.
Because Bruce was telling him all these negative things.
Yeah, he's a bit afraid of the whole den of wolves thing. But he continues. Thank you, Mr. Wayne. I really appreciate this opportunity. I think I will do well, to the best of my ability, of course. I know I am a very sheltered, Lower East Sidean, very different from yourself, who is a very worldly man, who has seen all kinds of things. But nevertheless, I'm very, very, very proud of the fact that, you have decided to take me in.
He's like, I like that attitude, Farber. Right, you start next Monday. I expect you 8 a.m. sharp. You're going to be meeting us in the main conference room A12 on the fifth floor of this building. I expect you to be there at least a minute early so you can get debriefed by my secretary. And I also expect you to wear a uniformly colored suit. Please don't wear those awful shoes to that meeting.
And he's like, okay, that can be done. These shoes were because I did not have any other pairs of shoes for today for some reason. Yeah, these were the only ones that were ready.
He's like, all right, well, make sure that you dress appropriately. You know what they say, dress for the job you want. And I expect you to be punctual. I expect you to be attentive. I expect you to keep sharp and look behind your shoulder. I think it's something you'll have to learn in the world of finance, Farber, that it's very cutthroat. And I don't want to see a man like you get his, throat sliced before he can get through the gate. So just remember what I said.
I understand. Thank you.
All right, well, good day to you, Farber. I expect to see you there then.
All right.
Good day.
And in The Sims, Joel has just turned into a merman.
That was random. Man, imagine if a DC issue ran like that.
And they're talking again. So
Talking.
should Joel realistically now just leave, or should they continue talking?
Um, I don't know. I wish something would happen. Like, I don't know, the Joker appears. I don't know.
I guess
I
okay,
don't
let
know.
me think. Okay, so Joel, he says, all right. He said, thank you for your time. And he's like, by the way, I think I saw you before at the cemetery 2 weeks ago, right?
And then Bruce just stops. And he goes, Bruce tense. Looks a little tense. Um,
Mm-hmm.
does which cemetery would you be referring to, Farber?
You know, that one. The one that's close to the
The you
Upper East Side.
mean the one you mean the one across from LaCroix?
Yes.
That might have been me. What time and day was it?
Tuesday, June the 5th.
Uh, that would have been me. So what about it? I mean, people go to cemeteries a lot, right? I mean, people die, family members die. You go to see them at cemeteries, I guess. That against the law or something?
No, I'm not saying that. It's just I think it's an interesting coincidence that, we managed to meet again.
That's true. I might have seen you there. I don't know. But what were you doing there in the cemetery?
Just thinking about mortality, that's it.
Oh, you're one of those types, huh? Sort of those dark types that sort of the dark have you have your nose in a book, go around thinking about mortality, big weighty, lofty ideas like that, huh?
Hey, don't describe me like that. And this is the expression that Joel's giving him. This is how I imagine him. It's just at the right time in The Sims.
Oh my gosh, The Sims predicted.
Mm-hmm. He's just peevishly staring at Bruce, and he's just like, I don't like that description.
You don't. Doesn't it fit you, Farber?
No, I think you're very presumptuous, aren't you?
He says, oh, I've been called worse. I've been called all sorts of names, including by some people that, I guess for lack of a better word, I guess we didn't have a pleasant night together.
I see. Of course. Women are always like that. Not to be a misogynist.
No, no, you're very well right. I mean, women are fickle creatures. I'll give you that, Farber. You got one?
Hmm. No, not really, but I was thinking about her, I think, a little bit when I was at the cemetery.
Were. Oh, what is she, alive? Dead? What?
She's alive, but I had a dream that she wasn't.
Then a sensitive look gets on Bruce's face. Secretly, Bruce is quite sensitive about mortality, thinking about the own mortality of his parents and as well as different loved ones across the years. It affected him deeply. He is at heart pretty much a very lonely, bitter man. Sort of softens his look a bit, and he says, "So, what made you have the dream? What prompted the dream? Are you she sick or something happened, like a near-death experience or something, Farber?"
No, it was just a nightmare. I guess this fear that if I'm going to continue doing what I'm currently doing, or I should say, not doing something, that this is going to eventually happen. Death's going to separate us before I can actually say anything.
Yeah, that's the bitch of it, Farber. Death comes to us, we don't even know when we'll expect it. Tell you how true that is. Death
Mm-hmm.
comes to everyone very unexpectedly. You could be walking down the street and suddenly drop dead of a heart attack. Or you could, be returning from some event, then you get gunned down like a pig in the street. Hard to tell what'll happen. I don't know, Farber. What do you think? Do you think you should go and confess your love to this girl and be like a lovesick poet and try to form some sort of little happy union with her, or think you should just ignore it and go through life alone and well, maybe not alone, but what would be the point of having something if it gets taken away from you before you can even enjoy the full experience of bliss?
Hmm. And then Joel's very deep in thought. He agrees with
Hey,
him,
who's like Jeff
but at
now?
the same time, he's a bit peeved. He wasn't really quite expecting this, especially since this was supposed to be a job interview. I guess he just sighs, and then he looks at him sternly and continues, I don't know. For the longest time, I just thought being alone was the best thing. But now I'm really starting to doubt it. So even if I do lose her, at least I tried. And that's probably better than never trying.
Farber, that is a very good answer to a very bad question. Like the way your mind thinks.
Zapanquar, Corbani, Yivka Bumzoi,
Do
Bananas
you?
Bifal.
And then he's just
Because
like, well, you'll see more of my mind in action when I start working for you.
hope I do. Maybe you can bring some of that
Demands,
audacity to the
Yabbersex,
table. I'd like to see what you can do, Farber. I'm always
Bite,
interested in the
Flynn,
impossible. Being, after all,
Cremical,
we are in America, land ripe of
Nepa.
opportunities for any man willing to take the risk. So I'm
Hmm.
quite interested in seeing what you'll bring. I really like your audacity, Farber. You really do have that Etsy Lower East Side tone to you, don't you?
I guess I'm one of the sons of the Lower East Side, as my friend Sam says.
It's true. I think you really are a son of the Lower East Side. I like you. For a moment there, I thought you were from the Bronx, but you didn't punch me in the face, so that's normally what they would do in the Bronx, punch me right in the face. But like I said, that's a very good question, a very bad answer.
That's
So, when are you
true.
going to tell this, when are you going to tell this darling little angel of yours your undying love for her?
Who knows? Maybe even today, after we conclude our meeting.
Hmm. Well, that's kind of a pivotal event, as they would call it. Tell you what, Farber, and he digs out of his desk that's conveniently placed near the pool. Um, I want you to take this, and he's writing on this like check, and he writes him out a check, and he holds it and puts it in Joel's pocket.
What is that?
I'll think of an advancement on some benefits. I want you to cash that and No, I guess commemorate this red letter day with your new girlfriend.
Oh, and then he is quite shocked, and then he takes it, and then he looks at it again. Thank you, sir. I did not expect that, but thank you so much. I can't wait to start working with you.
Good. I like you, Farber. Like I said, bright and punctual. Monday, 8 a.m. Come a minute early. Wear something better. And I genuinely hope everything works well between you and the girl.
Thank you.
I really do. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And in The Sims, Joel has gained a sentiment. He says to Bruce, "It really means a lot to me that you make time for me. Just wanted to let you know." And he also gained another personality archetype hint. Bruce Wayne shows sign of the sage personality archetype. Talk about the topic related to sage personality to make a positive impression. Sage Sims seek wisdom and focus on finding the truth in every situation. However, their knowledge seeking nature might cause them to think too much and not act enough.
Sounds like Bruce.
Wow, tonight's Sims was just like telepathic. I mean, it was
Oh,
echoing
yeah.
our conversation.
It echoed our conversations, the expressions and gestures. I mean, even the screenshot of these two guys sitting at the pool. It mirrors what we were role playing.
I know, we need to do this more often.
I cannot wait to shall we have another role play with two other of our characters? Well, I guess one of your characters and another DC character.
Yes, so after this, we're going to be doing Joel and Golden Age Lois.
Yes. And maybe Malka will join.
Yes, we're going to do that right now, actually. So thank you for joining, guys. So stay tuned for
Thank
the
you
next
guys.
stream, and it will be in a few minutes.
Thank you guys.
All right, see you.